Dofi's been out of the game for a while because of the ban of the really strong Jinbei, but they released a new Jinbei. Is it good? Well, let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Mabi here, and today I'm going to be giving you my personal deck profile for this blue Dofi leader that came out in OP01, then they came out with a new starter deck, but now it's going to be with PRB02 and below. Now, this is going to be my own personal take. It's okay if you guys don't agree with it. Let me know what you would add or what you would remove. So, I've been testing this leader out against a lot of, OP11, OP12, PRB02 leaders, and I have to say, without that amazingly banned Jinbei card, I feel like this leader really falls behind. This deck absolutely needs it to really keep up with a lot of decks today that simply go up in leader power and have insanely good removal. But with the new PRB02 Jinbei, we have a new revitalization here, but is it good enough to keep playing the leader? Well, let's talk about it. If you guys just want the deck profile, my website has it all. I post it on there in image and text format, so make sure to head on over there. Okay, so let's begin. We'll talk about every single card in this video breakdown. Okay, first of all is the leader, obviously, Donquixote Doflamingo, 7 Warlords, Donquixote Pirates in OP01, 5000 mono blue, with 2 Dawn attached. Then when attacking, you can rest 1 Dawn. You can reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a 7 Warlords of the Sea character that costs 4 or less, you can play that card rested. So, don't really need to say why this is an amazing ability. First of all, you get to cheat out a card by not paying the full 4. The other 2 goes on your character, meaning you can attack for a 7 towards another character or another leader, getting some really good damage and of course summoning some stuff. Now this means that you have to have a really good knowledge of what is upcoming on your deck. You have ways to mitigate the sort of RNG-ness. You can definitely guess if you want, because there's a lot of cards in here. I think there's only 11 cards in this deck that is not a 7 Warlords of the Sea, but then yeah, there is, it's freaking just a super good, right? Okay, so first card is going to be the Sengoku. This is from OP07, 1/2/1. On play, look at the top 5, reveal 1 7 Warlord type card. This one doesn't have to be a character, it can be an event as well. Then add it to your hand and place the rest at the bottom. Really amazing, great card. In this deck, you're going to be seeing a lot of 1 costs because you'll be able to bounce them back. This is one of the best cards that you can bounce back. This deck is all about swarming the board and having card advantage. You're not really going crazy high, you're going wide and you're attacking the characters, attacking leaders. Next is Perona from OP01, 1/2/1. On play, look at the top 5 cards and place them on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. Now the first turn that you're going to be playing this, hopefully when you look at the top 5 and they're good to go, you can summon them. You're going to want to place them on top in different orders. So you play Perona, then you see the top 5. You want to leave the very top card that you're going to draw next, whatever, but then you want to leave the second card. That's the one that you're going to be summoning with your leader ability. Now, if you know you're not going to draw any more cards through other means, you know that, okay, next turn it's going to be nothing to summon. Second card is going to be the one I summon. And then the next turn I draw another card, and the fourth card is going to be one I summon. So just with Perona, you can set up the next 2 to 3 turns if you do not manipulate the top of your deck anymore. So that means, yeah, technically you want to play Sengoku first, especially if you're going to go second Sengoku into a Perona. However, if you are going first and you have these 2 in your hand, I recommend just playing Perona, fix up the top cards of your deck. Then next turn you only need 3 Dawn to be able to attack something, then summon something for 4. Alright, so Perona is extremely powerful for the deck. Next off, it's going to be Buggy, which is kind of what the Perona does. This is from ST17, 1/2/2. On play, look at the top 3 and rearrange them. So basically, this is a 2K, but it only does the top 3, while Perona does the top 5, but it is a 7 Warlord, so technically it can be played by this. So if you don't have Perona, you can at least set up the next turn with this Buggy, so that's really cool. Now it's Marshall D. Teach from ST17. I remember when this card first got released and all that, people were like, oh, it's gonna be bad, it's gonna be bad. I put it in like one of my Dofi decks. I put it in my ST1 and they're like, it's not gonna be used. No, it's like 3 to 4 is used always, simply because you get so much value from your cards already. It's okay that you put a card from the top of your deck. So here's how this works. ST17 activate main once per turn, meaning you can use it before you attack, after you attack, don't even need to attack. Place one card from your hand on top of your deck, meaning you don't need to sift through stuff. You keep looking around, you use Sengoku, you grab a card that you need, you just put the card that you want on next. And the thing is though, you don't have to necessarily have to be a 7 warlords to use your leader ability. It could be something that you just don't want to use that turn or whatever, but the second after you do that, you give up to 2 rested Don cards to a leader or one of your characters. Really powerful, really good. It would be already amazing if you could just put on your leader, but the fact that you could put it on other characters as well makes it so, you know, you could put it on him to attack, you know, following turns, other characters to get more damage out. But primarily you are going to be putting, like, the best case scenario is put something on top that you want to throw out, 2 rested Don cards to your leader, then you just need 1 card. So if you end up going first, you can go ahead and play this on turn 2 for 2 Don. Then you can place something on top. You have 1 Don left over. Then you get to attack, activate this. Now you have 2 bodies on the board, a 4 cost and a 2 cost. And then this can be used in future turns, especially when you are playing on curve, give 2 rested Don cards to a leader or something. So it's an amazingly powerful card. I recommend 2 to 3. All right, next is Perfume Femur. We're only running 1 of these. This is from OP7. So this is 2. Select one of your 7 warlord leaders or characters. It gains 2,000. Then your opponent cannot activate blocker if that character does attack. So obviously we only have 1 in here because it's searchable, no problem. You know, you're gonna be able to draw it when you need to for the most part, and basically just use it to close out games. And that's how this card works. If you guys are enjoying the video, please make sure to like and sub. It really helps out the channel. I upload daily duels and deck profiles for a lot of different anime TCGs. Would love to see you guys here for future videos. Now we have another 1 card, 1 copy of a card, Charlotte Puddings from OP06. 441 on play. Your opponent returns all their cards from their hand to their deck, shuffles it, then they draw 5. Obviously you want to use this to really disrupt the opponent if they have 6, 7, 8 plus cards. Really devastating to do so. If you're going second with this leader and then you want to play this as early as possible, maybe even turn 2 if you have it in your hand, because turn 1 nothing happens with 2 Don. Turn 2 they're most likely going to take a hit, and then they're going to have 7 to 8 cards in the hand, then boom, you can just really mess with it. So we are only running 1 of these just in case you want to RNG, you don't want to hit this too much, and you have a lot of ways to really fix up the top of your deck and grab stuff in future turns. So that's why I'm only running 1. So usually I would add at least 2 a piece for these, but because you have so much manipulation of your deck, you're going to be able to get it if you really need to. All right, time for the superstar, the new card from PRB02. This is Jinbei. Now, this is not an SR Jinbei like the other one. The other Jinbei that got banned that lets you summon other warlords, which is really powerful. But this one, PRB02, 451 on play. Look at the top 5. Grab a 7 warlords other than Jinbei. And honestly, in this deck, this is the only Jinbei card, so you just can't grab the other 3 in here. Then you place the rest on the bottom of your deck. Really nice, a searching card. When attacking, place 1 character, 1 or less, to the bottom of the owner's deck. So there's no reason for you to really do any of that for your own, but there's a lot of chump blockers these days, a lot of really nice, amazing searching cards that people leave on the board. And now this is gonna have more application than you think. There's a lot of really good cards. So this is an amazing card. Now, I opted to put this in, and I took out 4 the Gecko Moria, that one that grabs 7 warlords from the trash, because this is an on play. Well, that Gecko Moria, you have to let it get KO'd, you have to wait, and your opponent might not even bother KOing it. But with this, you get to get the on play, you get another card in your hand. Works perfect with your leader ability. You have an amazing when attacking. It's always a threat there. And if you really need to, you can bounce it back with your other cards and replay it again, though you're probably not going to be doing that much. So this is the only new card that makes this deck a little bit more viable again. Now, like I said, I was testing this deck out against a lot of really nice, crazy decks these days, and this leader really falls behind. You know, it just really does. I think that they are going to unban that Jinbei within the next 2 to 3 sets, because this is just not enough. But honestly, if you really want to play this leader in PRB02 and below, this card will really help you sustain a lot more. Remember, it's not about just, you know, having the most cards. You will have a lot of cards in your hand. It's all about placing the stuff that you want on top and getting value out of it. So this is why the Jinbei's in here, and that's why we're running as a 4. It's a really nice card for the deck. Okay, now for one of your other key pieces of the deck, Truffa from ST17 451. On play, bounce back one of your characters to do an effect. Now, like I said, you can maybe bounce these back, but primarily bounce back the pudding. You can bounce back these, ain't gonna do much later on. Bounce back the buggies after you use his abilities. Bounce back the piranhas to use the ability or 1K. But the best one is probably Sengoku. Bounce it back, then simply use it again to keep searching and searching. But yeah, if you bounce something back, your leader 7 warlords bounce back a 4 less to the owner's hand. Now this obviously only works if your opponent is also having a lot of small cards going wide, etc. But it's really nice, man. You can really mess with a lot of stuff, especially like, you know, Blackbeards, Jesus Burgess. They have to replay it again, stuff like that. So an amazing, wonderful card for the deck. Super good. It's also a 1K counter. The only bad thing is it's only a 5K. Now you're going to be seeing a lot of our cards are going to be 5K, which is really bad. So that's why I opted to put in a little bit more of a, you know, 6 cost like this. So instead of, like I said, run the other Gecko Moria that's, you know, brings back something from the trash, you already have a lot of cards. You have a ton of cards. So you want to, as much as possible, play a little bit higher than 5,000. You normally wouldn't want to play any sort of vanillas unless you have specific sort of scenarios and really good synergy with vanillas, and with this you do. You get to play something with that. It's really nice. So 461, nothing here but a 7 warlords. But if you can get this out early, your opponent might have to use a little bit more resources to get rid of it, which means you are simply disrupting their turn. Okay, time for your other 6K. This is going to be Edward Weevil, EB01 460. This is one of your very rare bricks in the deck. On play, you draw 1 card, so just much better than this. You know, play it. It's a really priority to play. So even though it is a brick, it's a priority to play this because you get your big body on the board and you get to draw a card off of it. So it's really good. Nice, nice, nice. All right, time for your other brick of the deck. This is Boa Hancock ST17 460. This has a innate blocker for 6, which is pretty good. On play, look at the top 3 and rearrange them. You can set up for your next turn, then give up to one of your rested, or you can mess with it right now, because give up to 1 rested Don to your leader or a character. Meaning, if you want to play this and use your leader ability in the same turn without any other sort of influences on the board, you need 6 Don. Play this for 4. Oh, actually, you just need 5 Don. So yeah, you play this for 4? No, you need 6. So you play this for 4. You give 1 rested to your leader, another 1 to your leader, and then you have 1 stand-in to use your thing. So 6 Don total if you want to use this, just with your leader ability to fix up the top. Otherwise, fix up the next, you know, couple turns. Super good. Okay. Now it's going to be for more 2Ks. This is Dracul Mihawk from ST03 452 with 1 Don attached, 1 attacking, draw 2, then trash 2. So I opted to put this one in because you actually have ways of, remember, giving Don cards to characters. You have this Boa Hancock here. You also have this Marshall D. Teach, and it is also a 5K. So you can just attack with the 5K regularly if you happen to summon it with your leader ability. However, if you have the Don attached, you get the awesome ability of always drawing 2 and trashing 2. Being able to sift your cards is super important. It's going to be a high priority target because your opponent just doesn't want you to get the cards that you need. Okay, time for your final of the 2Ks. This is Crocodile from OP07 452. On play, you can rest 1 Don, return a character 2 or less from the owner's hand. So this is going to be another card they can bounce back in order to bring back these Teaches if you really want to. Bring back the Buggies, tap the 2Ks, the Piranhas, but once again, the best card to bounce back is going to be the Sengokus, so you can keep playing and searching for them. So we're in 2 of these. Now, time for one of your best cards of the deck. This is Jozu from OP08 671. On play, bounce back a character where I talked about. You can bounce back any character you want, rather than this one's 2. So once again, the Sengoku is simply the best still. Then bounce back a 6 or less to the owner's hand. So technically, you can bounce back 2 of your own cards if you really want to. Let's say you have a bunch of Sengokus, like you go Sengoku, then Jozu. You can bounce this back for the cost, then you can bounce this back again. It's really nice. But anyway, you're going to be using this to really mess with your opponent's tempo, mess with their board, so you can continue filling up the board and they can slowly trickle in and see what happens. And that's going to be the most of your highest attackers. It's going to be a 7K Okay, for the final card of the deck, I would say run Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, especially with this meta today, or you can go ahead and run Red Rock, depending on what you know you're going to be fighting up against. It's really up to you. But if you're using Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, a Navy card, can't be searched, so it costs 7, place 2 6 or less into the bottom of the deck. So the best you can do here is remove the 6,000 from the board, 6 costs from the board. Then the trigger here is you get to bottom deck a 5 or less, which is really good. So that is going to be the deck, guys. As I mentioned, it's a pretty fun deck. It's just Dofi. If you're playing with, if you're playing this with PRB02, OP11, or OP12 and below, and you really want to play Dofi, this is the deck that I would be playing. It's simply the same thing, except with that other Jinbei, it falls behind a little bit more. I feel like they will be unbanning it soon, because simply you're going super crazy wide. Isn't that crazy anymore? You have a lot of removal, you have a lot of ways to remove stuff from the board, and also a lot of leaders these days are going plus 1,000 or plus 2,000 until the end of your opponent's next turn. But with the inclusion of these Jinbeis, it really helps a bit, gives you more cards, another really on play instead of the other Gecko Moria. And the other ability here, like I said, it's gonna work more than you think, because there's a lot of really good one costs on the board that has when KO'd, or when attacking, when opponent attacks. So it's really nice. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys would add or remove to this deck to make it viable. And who knows, maybe there's going to be some new OP13 cards that we can put in here, and we'll see what happens. So thanks for watching. Make sure to like and sub, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.